Hi everybody, I'm Taylor. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you're not, I guess welcome anyways. I'm trying something new. I'm recording this on Wednesday night, which is technically the new comic book day night. I'm probably not going to upload it until Thursday because I'm old and tired though. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to do a quick rundown of everything I read and bought this week. It's not a full review. I can't really go into full reviews of single issues. A lot of times comic books are serial in nature, and stories sometimes take issues to develop, and it's a little more delicate than that. This is just kind of my general first impressions, what I sort of thought of the book. A lot of these, I mean, it's a big stack. I read a lot today, and they're kind of starting from like my least favorite to my most favorite for the most part. And I'm going to try and keep it kind of just a quick, brief overview. I'm not going to even probably mention most likely who wrote it, who drew it, unless I can remember if it really stands out, because I can't remember half the time. But anyways, let's get started, and we'll muddle through this together. This video might be a little longer than some of my others, and it's kind of an experiment. So leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, which I guess is 2 thumbs. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when I release videos. The schedule might be changing a bit. I was doing 2 times a week. I'm going to try and up to 3, especially if this takes off. I'm going to try and do this weekly unless I get a whole lot of people saying, man, that's a bad idea. Please don't do that. Please shut up. Please just open mystery boxes and don't talk about what you read. If that's the case, I won't do this. But, you know, what the heck. All right, this is a free comic book day one. It's a Horizon Zero Dawn, based on a video game I've never played. I think it's a first-time comic writer. I think the writer wrote the video game and stuff. It's not great. I didn't like it. The artwork's pretty simple and plain. I don't have any issues with it, but there's nothing memorable about it. It's a setup. The first issue comes out soon. I won't be following it. I just didn't care. This is the 4th issue of Tartarus. I think it's the 4th. Yeah, I've read the first 3. I read this one. I was subscribed to it. There's a lot of like subplots going on. I can't keep track. It's all. I think Tartarus is a planet. I honestly don't even remember. It reminds me of like the 70s heavy metal sci-fi, but not in a good way. It's just not for me. I'm going to be dropping the subscription, and so there we go. Oh boy, this one I'd never heard of, and I just kind of came across. The comic shop had it, so I picked it up. Monstrous. I don't even know what it's called. Witch Hunt #1. It stars Baba Yaga and like techno magic and stuff. The story was just kind of muddled, at least to my liking. The coloring didn't do it for me. The line work was fine, but I just won't be following it. There's just too much else on the shelf, and nothing grabbed me. Justice League Dark 24. This is the epitome of a filler issue. I think James Tynion was writing it or co-writing, and he's no longer doing it. I made the mistake of starting this comic on the last issue, which I thought was pretty enjoyable. So I'm like, oh, I'll give this one a whirl. You could skip this. Nothing really happens in it. The cover, the variant cover is great. I will give it 1 more, maybe 2 more issues to see if the new writer does anything with it. I like the idea of Justice League Dark. I like the team, but like it was mostly exposition and nothing really happened. Hellions, issue 2. Hellions, issue 1 was really fun and interesting. It's a team put together by Mr. Sinister to do the dirty work, and there's nothing wrong with this issue, really. It's just, this is the team's inaugural mission, and it all goes horribly wrong. I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as I can, but sometimes, it is what it is. Oh, this is Empire X-Men 1 of 4. This is written by Hickman. Hickman is the main writer on X-Men. You can tell. This ties into the Empire storyline, which is Kree and Skrull are invading the Earth, or so it seems, but then it turns out this issue is Plants vs. Zombies, the video game. So, go play the video game. Empire 2. Speaking of Empire. Not a ton happened in this issue. It really, again, this is the Marvel's big summer event that nobody just cares about. I really like the cover. So, yeah, there's that. Batman. This is the start of the Joker War. I like I've never been a huge Batman person, but I've liked James Tynion's writing mostly, and I kind of jumped on board with the whole punchline thing, and that's sort of where I started. So I'm not very far into his run, and I'm not really giving it a whole lot of stuff. The Joker's breaking down Batman, and he's going to have to rebuild himself. Can he do it? Well, you won't find out here, because there's a whole lot of more issues to this thing. It's like a crossovers and all that stuff. Speaking of crossovers, Batgirl. The art is a little stylized. It's not what I was expecting. This is just a whole lot of yapping between Batgirl and the Joker. The cover made it look like it was a follow-up to the what is it? The Killing Joke? Not the Killing Joke. Wherever there was the Joker crippled Batgirl eons ago, and it is sort of a follow-up to that, but it's not that. It's kind of forgettable. Dr. Aphra. Star Wars. I didn't read the origin of her, and I'm late to the game with her. It's enjoyable enough. I will keep this one up. It's on my subscription list. It's sort of female version of Indiana Jones, but not as well done. I don't know. I couldn't tell you any of the other side characters in the thing. They're all pretty forgettable. So far, it'll lead into crossing and double crossing and hunting for artifacts. I'm sure it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. Chew. I read Chew, spelled Chew, the first probably half of the volume. That's kind of where I stopped collecting comics for a while, and I really enjoyed it. Layman and stuff. Chew was a detective who could eat things and body parts and tell what happened at the crime scene. This is about his sister, who's a criminal. I can't remember exactly what her powers are, and they don't entirely go into this, but it's like crime caper. So it's flipping it and going for the other side of things. It's enjoyable. It's a setup issue again. It's the first issue, but I will keep this one going. And if you're looking for something fun and wacky and different, I'd say give this one a try. Okay, this is Heartbeat 1 and 2. Heartbeat, I think, came out right before the virus hit, and 2 just came out. This is a tricky one. It's gorgeous. I love the color palette. I love the art, and it's all written and drawn by Maria Lovett. It touches on some stuff that suicide and feelings of loneliness and depression. So it can be kind of possibly triggering. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what to think of this one yet. It's interesting, and I'm gonna keep up with it. It's kind of dreamlike. I'm not really sure what's real, what's not real, what's happening, and what hasn't. It's told from the point of view of one young lady, and there's parts where I'm having trouble following along, but I'm interested enough that I'm going to keep it going. And like I said, it's gorgeous. So there is that. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man, the Sin's Rising Prelude. This is sort of a retelling of the origin of the Sin Eater, who was a Spider-Man villain from back in the late 80s, I'm guessing. The death of Jean DeWolf. I don't know if you ever remember, if any of you are old enough to remember that story arc. That involved this character. It's a retelling. It's definitely a setup for what's going to be happening in the next couple issues of Amazing Spider-Man. You probably don't need to read this, but I thought it was pretty well done. The artwork, not my favorite, and it was pretty darkly colored and inked, but the story itself is decent. I like Nick Spencer. I've not been following his Spider-Man a whole lot. I'm kind of new to him, but I like some of the other stuff he's done. Like the Superior Foes of Spider-Man, I loved. That was, again, kind of back in the day, as I'd like to call it. So I'm going to keep this going with Amazing Spider-Man and see where it leads. It's probably a setup to the next big story arc in Spider-Man. And they released this as a one-shot. I like the cover. This is somebody doing a variant, something. Gabriel Delgado, maybe, probably. Yeah. Wind. This is James Tynion the fourth, I think. Yeah. And Michael. Okay, and it doesn't matter. This was a comic that was going to be a graphic novel, and then it got shot down or something, so they split it up into issues. I read the first issue, and it didn't grab me. This is much better. In fact, you could probably safely skip the first issue and just go for this. If you can't find it, I would say don't worry about it. It's a nice, thick issue, well illustrated, kind of a fun Magic's Outlaw. They're trying to get a guy to town. Big bad guy coming. But it's well done. They're sort of twisting around and playing with some tropes. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. And, yeah. I'll try and stop saying and, yeah. Words are hard. There's my one per list. Okay, so this is the Richard Fairgray Monster Showcase. It's a free comic book day. Weird-ass little book. Like, it's just strange. It's funky. It's got 2 self-contained little stories in it. Both monster-related. One involves a Rice Krispie treat man. It's odd. It's out there. It was pretty enjoyable, actually. And if I'm gonna like look up and actually try and find if this writer artist is doing other stuff, because I enjoyed it. I mean, it was unexpected and it was a pleasant surprise. So, speaking of which, another free comic book day done. Dark Red by Tim Seeley and Corin Howell. A black and white vampire tale with a twist. Pretty well done, actually. Pretty interesting. It's the usual, not the usual. I guess it's sort of a trope at this point, like a non-evil vampire. But give it a whirl if you can find it. It's free, so I'd say definitely check it out and see if you like it. If this turns into a series, I'll probably be following along at least for a little while. This is another unexpected pleasure from Free Comic Book Toy. Lauren Miracle Under the Moon, a Catwoman tale. I think this is a start. Let's see if okay. That's not Glare. That's just a white blank thing for Free Comic Book Day. I think this is a start of a graphic novel. I think it's done in 2 color. It's the origin of Catwoman, or like the high school retelling, sort of. I enjoyed it. It's not, it's sort of like why Catwoman likes cats, and her rough family life and high school. It's definitely aimed at a younger audience, but it was pretty well done. So, again, if you can find it for free, give it a whirl. Okay. This is, again, it's another filler issue. This is Chip Zdarsky and Daredevil, but it's a well-done filler issue. It's gorgeous. It's the aftermath of the last big story arc, which is kind of where it just started with Daredevil, and it leading into the next big one. I enjoyed it. I liked Chip Zdarsky's tone on this. He's an unexpectedly good writer, and or at least unexpected to me. Maybe you all expected it. Whatever. Expect whatever you want. I really like this. I'm going to keep it up with it. I like Daredevil. I think he's one of those characters that has had a fairly solidly well-written, history. Like, I can't think of... there's been weak moments for sure, but like most of the writers and most of the artists have done great jobs with them, I think. And so that's just my humble opinion. But yeah, Daredevil. Check it out. And yeah, it's really well drawn. And the coloring is fantastic in this. Okay, Bliss. This is a trippy little one, kind of literally. It's about drug dealing and why somebody's dealing drugs. And not a ton happens, and it's a setup issue again. But I like the illustration style. I liked it. It was quirky. It was a fast read. I'm going to give the second issue a whirl. So, getting to the bottom of the stack. Bear with me, people. Here we go. Okay, Decorum. This is another Jonathan Hickman. This is about a polite assassin and her recruit. The first 2 issues I read, they were not hard to follow, but they're Hickman-esque. There's just a lot of like little side things and setup and like visual little graphics and stuff that sort of ties into the story or will at some point. And he's laying a lot of groundwork. The groundwork's starting to come to play here, and it's the art shifts from page to page, and I like it. Yeah, I enjoy this one. I think it's a miniseries. I kind of hope it goes on past it. because it's a polite female society of assassins, or a female assassin in a polite female assassin in a assassin society. I'm not sure which. I don't think all the assassins are polite, but one is, and she's trying to train somebody else to be. All right, so this is technically came out a while ago, but I just picked it up today. But it's the second printing of Strange Academy #1. This is probably my favorite comic I've read this week. It's enjoyable. It's lighthearted. It's about all these magical teenagers going to an academy run by Doctor Strange in the Marvel Universe, and Brother Voodoo, and there's a couple other instructors there, and there's infighting. It's like the setup of like the school year with all these different characters. There's the son of Dormammu. There's two twins from Asgard. There's just a couple really interesting characters. Lots of first appearances. The first printing sold out in a hot minute, and it also was right before the plague virus killed 2020. But yeah, probably my favorite book of the week. Oh, and okay, so this is Spider-Man's The Free Comic Book Day. I didn't love everything about this, but if you get a chance, you should go hunt this one down, because it's got a very forgettable Vulture story in the first half. And the second half, it's Donny Cates. It's a short setup, but it has an appearance of Virus. If you're following Venom and you're watching the Collector thing at all, Venom issues are going for crazy money, because there's the first appearance in those of this new anti-villain hero thingy that looks like he's wearing War Machine's armor, kind of, named Virus. But if you read this is probably was supposed to be the first appearance. It was supposed to come out before Venom 26 and Venom 27 and all that stuff that's going on right now. But because of the corona, which I'm not allowed to say because I won't monetize my channel, but whoop-de-damn-de-doo, this should have come out first. It's free. Go find it. That's my only speculation advice. But grab this if you can. So, all right, there you have it. Just kind of a quick run through. I think I actually forgot one upstairs. Tough. I'll be doing more in-depth reviews of other stuff in the future when I'm trying to limit it to either like graphic novels or story arcs, or when I have like enough body to like actually sink into it and actually do a review. This is just first impressions and like my thoughts of the issue. So, yeah, let me know what you thought. And I'm going to go to bed, and I'll put this up tomorrow, which will be Thursday, which will be your world, your time. Whenever you see this, time is a flat circle or something. Anyways, good night. Don't be a dick.